Welcome to a melancholy edition of TSP with Dr. Evil. A couple days ago, I went on social media on a site that I really do try to avoid whenever possible. And I saw that someone that I used to play a lot of Call of Duty with over a decade ago had someone constantly tagging them in a bunch of posts. And I looked at the wording on some of the posts and deduced that the young lady that I used to run in parties with back in the days of Modern Warfare 2, it goes back a long, long time, that she was no longer with us. And then I found out that the person that was tagging her in the post was her mother. And I went back through what is now close to 6 weeks of posts because she passed away on January 5th. And I'm just finding out about this a couple of days ago, and man, like, back in those days, you're in a Call of Duty lobby, you hear a girl, everybody is like jumping on their shit, trying to see what's what, and they usually suck at the game, and the guys are kissing up to. Not this one. I actually ran across her. We ended up in a party together, and she was way better than me. So I had a habit back then of trying to party up with people who were better than me so that I could learn the game and not have to go 10 deaths and 26 losses every game. But she was one of the very few that she was legitimately good at the game. And we struck up a little bit of a personal friendship over the years. And, we were friends on social media. We had long since stopped like sending text messages or phone calls. We become adults and people kind of spread out in life, But the benefit that I received from having known her is really no different than any person that I met, I think, in real life. You know what I mean? I was inspired to do this video after I saw that a YouTuber that I just recently discovered in the last 4 or 5 months or so had been on hiatus. And I remember maybe 3 weeks after seeing the last video, like, wow, this particular account has not uploaded any videos. Really entertaining videos too. Since the guy is a criminal defense attorney, I figured that maybe he was on a case and had to be at trial. And I guess he would come back and let everybody know he was working on a case or whatever, and then go back to reporting on the criminal cases that a lot of these celebrities find themselves in. And if you're not sure who I'm talking about Bruce Rivers, Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description. And I come to find out through the recommended feed that 2 days ago he posted a video which ended up being in memoriam to his son, Michael Rivers, who was frequently seen on the videos as if, he was pretty much like the producer and the editor. And it turns out that he passed away November 16, November 17, something like that. And the last video they posted was on November 16th. And while I really didn't have any real connection to this particular YouTuber, I just discovered him not all that long ago, although I had kind of gone down the rabbit hole because I did like the content. I went through the comments of the very final video that his son posted before he apparently suffered some sort of overdose death. And you look through all the comments, and it brought me back to when my father died. It brought me back to the Filthy Casual MMA watch party. It was either that or we were covering like the Royal Rumble or something like that on the channel. And I had just found out before we went live, maybe just a few hours before, that my father was no longer with me. And, you know, my father was a big part of this channel. Those who are part of the list of the usual suspects, you know who you are. He interacted with a lot of you. And I always thought about, like, what would happen if, like, I just suddenly disappeared and I was no longer alive. You know, the people that knew me as a content creator ever find out what happened to me. And that got me thinking about one of my good friends that I spent maybe 3 or 4 years playing Call of Duty back when I used to do a lot of the streaming, Infinite Warfare, on my personal channel. Some of you may know him, Serial Killer 246. And it just brings back that pain because as like the IW community was dying off, I didn't hear from him for a while, and then he then informs me that his brother self-deleted. And as somebody who has suffered from extreme depression along those lines, it was very hard-hitting for me. And then I never heard from Serial Killer 246 again. I tried texting him. We actually spoke on the phone. we texted back and forth about a bunch of different topics. And then never saw him sign on to PlayStation Network again. Don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he is still with us or if he also chose to leave after his brother did. I have no clue. And the pain from, one of the things that I learned from this is the pain that people go through is just as real with these parasocial relationships. You don't need to meet somebody in person and hang out with them and to have them have such great impact on your life. I know that a lot of our viewers loved my father, otherwise known as Blind Bat, who passed away just over a year ago. You know, my friend Annoyed Mofo, she passed away January 5th. The pain is still the same. And I'm seeing it in other people. I'm experiencing it myself. And it's quite sobering. You know, I've heard a lot of people talk about the fact that human beings are not really meant to hear the opinions of so many people at once. And that social media is harming people because it's just an overload of interactions with too many people. I never really thought about it in this way, but expanding your friendships so much, I wonder if it's doing something to us psychologically when we lose them. I think that we're giving ourselves more opportunities to lose people that we value. You get used to watching a content creator, something happens to them, it's still devastating. You know, I would not want to compare the devastation between the people that, you know, the loved ones and the personal friends of the content creator and the viewers. But it's still pretty goddamn painful. You know, when Kevin Samuels died, now almost 3 years ago, and I remember being in so much pain, and I remember seeing the pain of the people that he knew who were frantically trying to contact him, and you know, there were rumors that he had passed away. And I remember Melanie King. I remember watching her live stream, and she was just calling him over and over and over again, and I just identified with that pain so much. And these are people I've never met a day in my life. Never met Kevin Samuels in person. Although I did get to say hello directly to him once. Shout out to the lead attorney. I don't know. It just kind of, like, maybe it's still getting to me a little bit, and I just kind of wanted to express this stuff to you guys and maybe pass it off to you in the comments below and tell your stories, and you know, kind of let everybody know what kind of impact parasocial relationships have had on your life, and how they have been maybe just as real to you as some of your other relationships that you have IRL. Thanks for watching, y'all. See you in the next one.